You've completed an online course, read 3 books on the topic, watched dozens of YouTube tutorials, and you're ready to call yourself an expert. You've spent hours practicing. You can talk about the subject confidently, and you've even started teaching others. In that moment, you feel accomplished, knowledgeable, masterful. But here's the devastating truth nobody tells you. You're not a master. You're a dabbler. You've accumulated surface-level knowledge, learned the basics, and convinced yourself that familiarity equals expertise. But true mastery, the kind that commands respect, creates real value, and grants genuine power, requires something most people are unwilling to give: years of deliberate, focused, uncompromising practice. Today, we're going to explore the uncompromising path to true mastery, why most people never achieve it, and how to transform from someone who knows a little about everything into someone who has mastered something that matters. The modern world has created an illusion of mastery. Social media platforms reward quick wins and surface-level expertise. Online courses promise mastery in weeks. YouTube tutorials make complex skills seem accessible in minutes. We've been conditioned to believe that consuming information equals understanding, that completing a course equals competence, that practicing occasionally equals mastery. But this is a trap. True mastery isn't about knowing a lot, it's about knowing deeply. It's not about being good at many things, it's about being exceptional at one thing that matters. And in our age of instant gratification and endless distraction, the path to mastery has become the path less traveled, precisely because it requires what most people refuse to give: time, focus, and uncompromising discipline. Consider this scenario. Person A has taken courses in marketing, coding, design, writing, and business strategy. They can discuss any topic intelligently, they have certificates from multiple platforms, and they're always learning something new. Person B has spent the last 5 years mastering one skill: negotiation. They've studied every aspect, practiced in every context, failed repeatedly, and refined their approach until they can negotiate outcomes that others can't. Who do you think commands more respect? Who creates more value? Who has more real power? The person who knows a little about everything, or the person who has mastered something that matters? Niccolo Machiavelli understood this dynamic when he wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The fool dabbles in many things, accumulates surface knowledge, and never achieves true mastery. The wise person focuses relentlessly, practices deliberately, and masters one thing that grants them real power. When you spread yourself thin, you become mediocre at everything. When you focus deeply, you become exceptional at something. The first law of mastery is what I call strategic focus, the uncompromising practice of choosing one thing and pursuing it with relentless dedication. This isn't about limiting yourself or closing doors. It's about recognizing that mastery requires depth, and depth requires focus. When you try to master everything, you master nothing. When you focus on mastering one thing, you gain the power that comes from true expertise. Think about the last time you tried to learn something new. You probably watched a few videos, read a couple of articles, practiced for a week or two, and then moved on to the next thing. In that moment, you satisfied your need to feel productive, but you never achieved mastery. You accumulated knowledge without developing skill. You learned concepts without building competence. But what if, instead of moving on, you committed to mastering that one thing? What if you practiced deliberately, studied deeply, failed repeatedly, and refined your approach until you achieved true expertise? What if you became the person others seek out for that specific skill? Machiavelli captured this perfectly. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, because it belongs to everybody to see you, to few to come in touch with you. In our modern context, this means people will judge you by your demonstrated mastery, your proven competence, and your ability to deliver exceptional results, not by how many courses you've completed or how many topics you can discuss. When you dabble in many things, you reveal that you lack focus. When you master one thing, you project authority. In the digital age, this principle becomes even more critical. Every platform rewards breadth over depth. Every algorithm promotes quick content over deep expertise. Every trend encourages jumping from one thing to the next. The person who constantly learns new things, who always has a new project, who never commits to mastery is creating a pattern of mediocrity. They're teaching the world that they're a dabbler, not a master. Meanwhile, the strategically focused individual remains valuable precisely because they've achieved true mastery. They don't need to prove their competence through constant learning. Their results speak for themselves. This isn't limitation, it's strategic positioning. The second principle of mastery is deliberate practice, the uncompromising commitment to focused, intentional improvement over time. This requires understanding that mastery isn't about time spent, it's about quality of practice. Most people practice until they're good enough, then they stop improving. They reach a comfortable level of competence and settle there. But true mastery requires pushing beyond comfort, failing repeatedly, and refining your approach until you achieve excellence. Most people avoid deliberate practice because it's uncomfortable. It requires facing your weaknesses, acknowledging your failures, and committing to improvement even when progress is slow. But this is backwards. True power comes from the ability to practice deliberately, to fail strategically, and to improve continuously until you achieve mastery. Consider two professionals in the same field. Professional A practices occasionally, learns new techniques when they're convenient, and maintains their current level of skill. Professional B practices deliberately every day, studies their failures, seeks feedback constantly, and commits to continuous improvement. Who do you think achieves mastery? Who creates more value? Who commands more respect? The person who practices when it's convenient, or the person who practices with deliberate intention? Machiavelli understood this when he observed, since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. In modern terms, this means it's better to be respected for your mastery than liked for your versatility. The person who dabbles in many things is weak regardless of their knowledge. The person who has achieved true mastery is powerful because they cannot be replaced by someone who knows a little about everything. In professional settings, this means not jumping from skill to skill, not constantly learning new things to avoid mastering what you've started, and not spreading yourself so thin that you never achieve excellence. It means recognizing that mastery requires time, focus, and uncompromising commitment. The person who knows a little about everything becomes the person everyone can replace. The person who has mastered something becomes the person everyone seeks out. The third law of mastery is strategic patience, the ability to commit to long-term improvement even when results are slow and progress is invisible. This requires answering a simple question: am I willing to spend years mastering this, even when I could learn many other things in that time? Most people abandon mastery because they want quick results. They start learning something, practice for a few weeks, don't see immediate improvement, and move on to something new. But emotional satisfaction is not strategic value. In fact, it's often strategic cost. When you constantly learn new things, you've satisfied your need to feel productive, but you've also signaled that you lack the discipline for mastery. When you jump from skill to skill, you've shown that you're always learning, but you've also taught others that you never master anything. When you spread yourself across many interests, you've demonstrated versatility, but you've also become the person who's good at everything and exceptional at nothing. The strategically intelligent individual understands that mastery requires patience. They're willing to spend years on one thing, to practice when it's uncomfortable, to fail repeatedly, and to commit to improvement even when progress is slow, because they understand that long-term power comes from true mastery, not surface-level knowledge. This isn't about becoming narrow or limited. It's about becoming intentional. It's about recognizing that true power comes from depth, not breadth. When you achieve mastery in one thing, you gain the power that comes from being exceptional. You become unpredictable to those who would compete with you, and you become unstoppable in pursuit of your objectives. In negotiations, this means being the person who understands negotiation at a level others don't. In leadership, this means being the person who has mastered the art of influence. In your field, this means being the person others seek out because you've achieved true expertise. The person who can maintain focus, who can practice deliberately, who can commit to mastery over years, this person commands respect and wields real power. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." The modern translation? It's better to be respected for your mastery than liked for your versatility. And respect comes not from knowing many things, but from mastering something that matters. When you dabble in many things, you reveal that you lack discipline. When you achieve mastery, you project authority. The ultimate goal of mastery isn't to become limited or narrow. It's to achieve true expertise in something that grants you real power. It's to reach a state where your competence is undeniable, where your results speak for themselves, and where your mastery makes you irreplaceable. This doesn't mean becoming closed-minded or refusing to learn. It means developing what I call strategic depth, the ability to master one thing while maintaining awareness of others. When you commit to mastery, you choose one thing and pursue it with relentless focus. When you practice deliberately, you improve continuously even when progress is slow. When you maintain strategic patience, you commit to long-term improvement over short-term satisfaction. The unmovable force understands that true power isn't the ability to know a little about everything. It's the ability to master something that matters. It's the ability to achieve depth while others remain at the surface. It's the ability to become exceptional at one thing while others remain mediocre at many. In our hyper-connected, constantly distracted world, this kind of strategic focus is revolutionary. While others are jumping from skill to skill, learning new things constantly, and spreading themselves thin, you operate from a place of deep mastery and proven expertise. The principles I've shared today aren't about limiting yourself or closing doors. They're about achieving true mastery in a world designed to make you a dabbler. They're about trading the temporary satisfaction of learning many things for the lasting power of mastering something that matters. In the digital age, where everyone is constantly learning, perpetually starting new projects, and forever spreading themselves thin, the person who operates differently becomes magnetic. The person who has achieved mastery, who is committed to depth, who has become exceptional at something, this person stands out like a beacon in a sea of mediocrity. The choice is yours. Continue dabbling in many things, learning constantly, and forever remaining at the surface, or develop the strategic intelligence to focus deeply, practice deliberately, and achieve true mastery. As Machiavelli understood centuries ago, and as our distracted age has made more relevant than ever, true power lies not in knowing a little about everything, but in mastering something that matters. The less you spread yourself, the more depth you achieve. The more you focus, the more mastery you gain. The more you commit to one thing, the more power you command. The path to mastery is uncompromising because it requires you to resist every instinct our distracted culture has programmed into you. But for those disciplined enough to focus deeply and practice deliberately, it offers something invaluable: true expertise, undeniable competence, and the kind of power that comes not from knowing many things, but from mastering something that matters.